says, Prabhu, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chapada Maria, slapping, Murkera Vakya, by the words of some rascals and fools. Murka Haila, you became a fool. Panditahana, being a learned scholar. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Positive preaching. When Balabhadra Bhattacharya asked to see Krishna at Kaliyadaha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercifully slapped him, saying, "You are a learned scholar, but you have become a fool, being influenced by the statements of the other fools." Purport. Maya is so strong that even a person like Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was constantly staying with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was influenced by the words of fools. He wanted to see Krishna directly by going to Kaliyadaha. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the original spiritual master, would not allow his servant to fall into such foolishness. He therefore chastised him, slapping him just to bring him to real sense. To the real sense of Krishna consciousness. Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shimate Praladananda Swami Tinamine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Adeshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare-rama, Hare-rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I chose this part because last time we had this discussion about Shivas Thakur slapping someone. We'll get back to that. And there was a question, why did he slap this person, Shivas Thakur, such an exalted personality. He slaps someone. How does this come? And then, I thought there should be more to be said on this topic, because it's important, and it has to do with Guru Tattva. It's one of the parts. What's the role of the Guru? Is the role of the Guru just to massage, or is the role of the Guru to sometimes say something? Like in this case, Lord Chaitanya is saying, is telling Balabhadra Bhattacharya, you're a fool. And this is, a bit about the context of this verse. This is when Lord Chaitanya is going to Vrindavan. So Lord Chaitanya he tried to go to Vrindavan, and he went through Navadvip, and he took, his first servant was Kala Krishna Das. First round one, he had Kala Krishna Das as a servant. And as Prabhupada explains in the beginning of this purport, Kala Krishna Das fell in Maya. And this is very interesting and very instructive to understand how powerful Maya is. Because this devotee, he's the personal servant of Lord Chaitanya. I mean, of course, he was not one of the top devotees of Lord Chaitanya, because that was the whole principle that Lord Chaitanya said, if I bring this devotee, then the other will be upset, why him and not me, and so I cannot choose one of my intimate associates. So, but still, this devotee is in the association of Lord Chaitanya himself, and he falls into Maya. And then Lord Chaitanya recovers him. There's that lila. I'm not going into that. So here you have a similar case. Lord Chaitanya goes to Vrindavan, second try. He's there in Vrindavan, and everyone everywhere says, there's a big turmoil in Vrindavan, Krishna is manifested again in Vrindavan. And everyone is like, yo, in the evening at you go to Kaliaghat, you'll see Krishna. And everyone is there, okay, let's go see Krishna. And in this round, Lord Chaitanya has Balabhadra Bhattacharya as his servant. So Balabhadra Bhattacharya, they chose him, okay, he told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and the others, this time you have someone who is not easily disturbed. So Balabhadra Bhattacharya, and there's other Brahmana who helps just carrying Lord Chaitanya stuff. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he's just hearing all the time, oh, Krishna is back in Vrindavan, Krishna is back in Vrindavan. And at some point, he's influenced by this. And he goes to Lord Chaitanya and he says, please give me permission to go see Lord Krishna directly. This is the verse before. So, so Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he's in the presence of Krishna as Lord Chaitanya. And influenced by all this turmoil which is in Vrindavan, he's thinking, oh, I have to see Krishna. You know, everyone is going in the night to see Krishna. I will also go to see Krishna. And then Lord Chaitanya, how does he react? He says, yeah, you go to see Krishna. I mean, it's a strange situation. Lord Chaitanya slaps him and to protect him. Very, very interesting subject. And we'll see this. There's many examples like this. And Srila Prabhupada comments that being the original spiritual master, Lord Chaitanya being the spiritual master, would not allow his servant to fall into such foolishness. He says, what's this? Why are you so foolish? So that's the role of the spiritual master, to tell us that we are foolish. And the role of the disciple is to understand that he's foolish and to accept that he has to be corrected. Anyway, we'll go back to this topic. And then after he says this, there is a next verse. Lord Chaitanya, he also gives an example, an Shastric argument. It's very interesting that Lord Chaitanya, throughout his discussions, you can see that he's quoting from the Shastras. He's always giving reference to Shastra. He doesn't need to, because he's Krishna, but he does. And he says, why would Krishna appear in the age of Kali? Foolish people who are mistaken are simply causing agitation and making a tumult. And also in this verse, he says, you are a learned scholar. In the verse we read today, he says, you are a learned scholar. So Lord Chaitanya says, you read the Shastras. Where in the Shastra is written that Krishna appears in Kali Yuga? Why are you so foolish? No, like, why don't you apply the Shastras? So this is a very important part that we as devotees who are meant to know the Shastra. That's one of the big problems of the Hare Krishna movement, that the devotees don't read. Okay, anyway, I have to say it because it's true. And we have to read Srila Prabhupada's books and apply them, like pretend, okay, maybe it's true, maybe things are like that. And of course, we know there's, this is first thing that we learn in Krishna consciousness movement. There's three ways of acquiring knowledge: pratyaksha, by the senses; anuman, by using your own mind; and shabda, by the scriptures, by something that comes from the absolute. And I was talking to this devotee yesterday, and it was I remember this discussion Srila Prabhupada had with someone, as told by His Holiness Prahladananda Maharaj. Someone came to Prabhupada and says, he was asking, how will I know that I'm doing the right thing? And Srila Prabhupada just looked at him and he just laughingly said, you won't do the right thing. You'll do the wrong thing. You'll not figure it out. So this is the basic thing that we have to understand, that we will not figure it out. If you think that you will figure it out, you won't. And that's the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna understands, I will not figure it out. So I need knowledge from the absolute, and so I need shabda. I need information. Of course, after I told him this, he was like a bit, maybe there's some solution. Yeah, there's a solution. You inquire from Guru Sadhu Shastra. You find out, you take the Shastras, you study them, you ask devotees who study them and they have some more experience, and then you can figure some things out at least. So, all right. So this is first example, of guru correcting the disciple, because that's the duty of the guru. Like if we're not, we come to Krishna consciousness and we don't know anything. Of course, because we are living in this society, we think we know everything. But actually, we're, His Grace Manidhar Prabhu was saying that Srila Prabhupada would call us simple people. And of course, we're not simple people. In the West, you call someone a simpleton. That's like, oh my God, that's really bad. But and we are simple people. We from Vedic perspective, we are uneducated, completely uneducated. Come on. And we don't know anything. So then we need someone who teaches us. And if they don't teach us, then we will remain as we are, which is not very educated. So that's why it's important to have a guru. And then a guru to correct us, to guide us properly. And the reaction to this, we can see what's the correct reactions, that guru comes and slaps you. Of course, nowadays, guru should not slap you because we have rights and so on, this, that. But sometimes he might tell you you're a fool and you should do like that and not like that. And what should be the reaction? So there's a few examples. There's this example we quoted before, Lord Nityananda cursing Shivananda Sena's family. Yeah, so we know this example. Shivananda Sena was paying all the taxes when they were traveling to Jagannath Puri, and Shivananda Sena, one day he stayed behind to pay the taxes, and then he spent more time than usual. Tough negotiation at the border. And then Lord Nityananda got angry, and he cursed his sons to die. And the wife of Shivananda Sena was like really disturbed, like what? Like Lord Nityananda cursed our sons to die. And she was crying, and when Shivananda Sena came, and he was like informing him what happened. And Shivananda Sena was, and then Lord Nityananda kicks Shivananda Sena. And Shivananda Sena was very pleased, was very happy. Oh, thank you. You can imagine someone comes and kicks you, and you're like, oh, thank you. But that's actually the proper attitude of a disciple. And Shivananda Sena says, today you have accepted me as your servant and have properly punished me for my offense. It's not sometimes, it's hard to accept that you're wrong. But in the presence of the spiritual master, you're always wrong. And you should accept that you're always wrong. If you ever think you're right, you're wrong. And even if you're right, you're still wrong. There's this example, Bhaktipad Goswami from Hungary was telling me that he was one day Shivara Maharaj was testing him, and the day before he was teaching him how to do arti. Like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then the next day, Bhakti-pad Goswami was doing this arti. He was not he didn't take sannyas yet when we were talking, and he was doing this arti exactly as Maharaj told him to, and Maharaj came like, "What's this? I told you yesterday. Why don't you listen? You know, and this and that." And Bhakti-pad Goswami was like, you know, I was like 100%, you know, sure that I did the right thing, I did it properly. Then I was, but still, I mean, and I was like, "Yes, Maharaj, I'm sorry, Maharaj, you know, I'm sorry, I missed it. I will do better next time." So that's a very good example, you know, that in the presence of the spiritual master, even if you're right, you're wrong. So that's a principle you have to remember. No, you're still wrong. Anyway, good. And then he continues, "My dear Lord, your chastising me is your causeless mercy. Who within the three worlds can understand your real character?" So you can understand that being chastised by the spiritual master is a great mercy. And we'll go to some cases after. And we'll explain why. There's this quote by Daksha. After being chastised by Lord Shiva, he understands, he took the time to correct me. That's a great mercy. Wow. Anyway. And then we have the example from which we talked the last time. Srivas Thakur was looking at, there was this Ratha Yatra, and Lord Chaitanya was dancing, and they were making circles around Lord Chaitanya to protect him, that people don't just bump into him. And Srivas Thakur was there, and he was standing before the king, before King Prataparudra, and one of the men of the king was pushing Srivas Thakur once, twice, you know, like, come on, man. I mean, this is the king. Don't you know who's the king, you know? And of course, King Prataparudra was a great devotee. And then at some point, Srivas Thakur was slapping this guy, like, you know, like, probably this guy seemed like a guard, you know, like, so he's probably big guy, some bima. But Srivas Thakur was like just slapping him, you know, like, and why does this happen, you know, like, and sometimes you can see that devotees react not so much because they are disturbed, because devotees are not so easily disturbed, you know, real devotees. And we should also try to not be so easily disturbed. But sometimes devotees react just to correct someone. Oh, you're doing something wrong. We need to teach you properly. Why? Because you're going in the wrong direction. So we need to help you. It's gonna be a rough ride. So, and of course, you can say Srivas Thakur in his, what's his position? He's Narada Muni. So you can say, I mean, Narada Muni is a preacher. A preacher will say some nice things to people, and he will also tell them some things, like Lomanchita Prabhu was explaining. Preacher will say some things that people want to hear, and some things that people need to hear. So it's a mix. A bit of massage, you know, like some lila. Oh, you need this is what you want to hear, and a bit of tattva. This is what you need to hear. And the mix, you know, like ha ha, he, and then boom, haha, hee, oh. Oh. It's bang. Anyway, half joke. And we see that in this lila of, we have this Kartik lila, Damodar lila. We have Manigriva and Alakuravara. And it just, they were a bit puffed up. They were going in the wrong direction. And Narada Muni just happened to pass by. It's funny how Narada Muni always happens to pass by when there's something happening and he needs to do something. So Narada Muni just happened to pass by. And he saw that this they don't have the proper culture. You know, all this culture that we have in Krishna consciousness, this Vaishnava culture, is meant that you show some sort of respect to the Guru. Guru means, this is also a heavy topic, Guru means not just Diksha Guru, Guru means also Shiksha Guru, because Diksha Guru is somewhere. We don't see him, he doesn't tell us anything, he doesn't tell us we're wrong. So for most of the devotees, they don't have so much access to the Diksha Guru. So there's also Shiksha Gurus, temple president, who sees and is like, what's this? Because he sees you. You know, like Diksha Guru is somewhere else, he doesn't see you, what you're doing. There's other Shiksha Gurus, senior devotees, who will sometimes tell you what's up. So Narada Muni is correcting them. And Srila Prabhupada explains there in the purport. I'll just read the purport. It says, although in the beginning Narada Muni appeared very angry and cursed them, at the end the two demigods, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, were able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Panchatattva ki jai. Krishna face to face. Thus the curse was ultimately auspicious and brilliant. One has to judge what kind of curse Narada placed upon them. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives herein a good example. When a father finds his child deeply asleep, but the child has to take some medicine to cure some disease, the father pinches the child so that the child will get up and take the medicine. Pick. In a similar way, Narada Muni cursed Nalakuvara and Manigriva in order to cure their disease of material blindness. So this, sometimes the spiritual master has to do something. Okay, what are you doing? What's this? All right, and just a final example. There's this example of Daksha. Daksha did this yagya, and he lost his head. That's how you call it. You say it figuratively in English. You know, like when someone loses it, that he lost his head. But in this case, Daksha lost his head figuratively, and he also lost his his real head, and he got a goat head. So what's Daksha's reaction? You know, like, because he's offending Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva corrects him, and it's heavy correction. You know, like you lose your head, it's quite heavy. And this is Daksha's reaction after he comes to his senses. So Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me who am engaged in performing sacrifices? I did not know your glories. For this reason, I threw arrows of sharp words at you in the open assembly, although you did not take them into account. I was going down to hell because of my disobedience to you, who are the most respectable personality, but you took compassion upon me and saved me by awarding punishment. I request that you be pleased by your own mercy, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. So Daksha says, I was going to hell, and you saved me. Thank you. That's very advanced, attitude. Like you're usually when you're corrected, Vaisheshika Prabhu says, I live to be corrected. Usually, when you're corrected, it's not something that you want to hear. There's some part in you that's like, no, I don't want to hear this. And there's some, if we have some sincerity, there's also this other part in you, which says, actually want to hear it. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not what I like to hear. It's not gonna be nice, but I want to hear it because it's good for me, actually. So, wrap it a bit and give it. Put some sugar in it. Not too much. Some sugar. Whatever. I'll just read this purport by Srila Prabhupada to this text. He says, as usual, a devotee in an adverse condition of life accepts such a condition to be the mercy of the Lord. Factually, the insulting words used by Daksha against Lord Shiva were enough to have him thrown perpetually in a hellish life. Srila Prabhupada says, you offend a devotee like Lord Shiva, it's gonna be bad. But Lord Shiva, being kind toward him, awarded him punishment to neutralize the offense. King Daksha realized this, and feeling obliged for Lord Shiva's magnanimous behavior, wanted to show his gratitude. Sometimes a father punishes his child, and when the child is grown up and comes to his senses, he understands that the father's punishment was not actually punishment, but mercy. Similarly, Daksha appreciated that the punishment offered to him by Lord Shiva was a manifestation of Lord Shiva's mercy. That is the symptom of a person making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness. Okay, I'll let it at this. So that's very important for devotees in spiritual life. That's actually the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Before this instruction of that you are not the body, there is this initial part of Arjuna, and actually there's this verse that they teach in Bhakti Shastri, which I learned and I forgot, which is very important, for the devotees, because it explains how to enter into Bhagavad Gita and how to enter into spiritual life. This is Karpanya Dashopahata Svabhava Prichami Tvam Dharma Samudacheta Yakshaya Svayam Nishchitam Bruhitan Me Shishasteham Sadimam Tvam Prapanam. And the translation is, now I'm confused about my duty. I've lost all composure because of miserly weakness. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, and this is the attitude we have to have in spiritual life. I have no idea what I'm doing. Everything I knew from before Krishna consciousness, that I was this high profile, low profile, this useless. Everything. So I'm in this state. This is my actual state. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to a guru and asking him, what should I do? Simple, very simple. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So that's the beginning of spiritual life. This is not last part. This is the beginning. And sometimes this part is ignored, okay, Bhagavad Gita starts with Dehinosmin Yata Dehe Kamaram Yavanam Jara, we are not the body. But no, this is the preliminary qualification to enter into the Bhagavad Gita, that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just come here and please tell me what I should do. This is the attitude we need to have towards Shastra, and this is the attitude we have to have towards gurus. And if you have this attitude, then our spiritual life will be everything will go smooth. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, if you have some questions, comments. Okay, let's start with the heavy ones. Let's give. We usually have a microphone, but we're. Anyway, we don't have a microphone. Okay. Yeah, the question is why there was a need for physical violence. Yeah, there's we are let's call it like this. We are not specifically non-violent. Ahimsa is a principle, but it's not the highest principle. So sometimes violence is needed, and if it's used for a higher purpose, then actually the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is that Arjuna will kill some people. Yeah, Krishna uses some verbal slaps, and he starts with some verbal slaps, and that's enough. What does he say? Which is like very very tough verbal slaps. You know, like it's not if you it says. No. He says, "O son of Prita, do not yield to this degrading impotence." You know, if you call a kshatriya impotent, you know, kshatriya they are the symbol of masculinity. They are like, and if you call them impotent, and also Arjuna, you know, Arjuna was a eunuch for 1 year. You know, like it's like very heavy. You know, like it's not something light. You know, like yeah, Arjuna, you're not not having the best attitude. No, this is like a real slap. You know, like this, like destructive for a kshatriya to tell him he's impotent. Yeah. So anyway, the point is that. Krishna is using appropriate violence, which appropriate reactions, and sometimes sometimes this works, and sometimes it doesn't work, and then you like they say sometimes you use a bigger hammer. You know, if this hammer doesn't work, use a bigger hammer, and the point is also that these devotees, they know what they are doing. You know, we should not imitate these cases, but the principle we should understand. You know, it's very, very, very difficult to correct someone, but the principle is they know what they are doing, and they know it's going to be beneficial. And apparently, from our perspective, it's not going to be beneficial because why did he slap him? But I mean, why not? If it's good for him, you know, why not?
Yeah, but I mean, we are speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that his words of correcting someone wouldn't work. This is difficult to understand, how just a personality like Krishna herself would come and him explaining wouldn't work?
Yeah, that's a good question. You have Kala Krishna Das. We were quoting these examples, that Maya is so powerful, and sometimes you need some bigger reaction. Kala Krishna Das, first servant of Lord Chaitanya. He was in Maya. He was allured by these Bhattataris with women and so on in the presence of Lord Chaitanya, personal servant of Lord Chaitanya. And personal servant of Lord Chaitanya, Balabhadra Bhattacharya. He's in the personal association of Lord Chaitanya, and he's thinking, I will also go to see Krishna. Because in Kali Yuga, Krishna comes to Kali Yuga, and Lord Chaitanya is like, what are you doing? Probably it wasn't like a huge step. Like, what are you doing, man? I don't know. I wasn't there, but I don't see a problem. Why not? Lord Chaitanya took the appropriate measure, whatever that is. So.
Hare Krishna, if we can speculate a little bit, when Lord Chaitanya didn't, he wanted to use a Shastra against Madhya and Jaga, one of those brothers. And
it's different case.
Nityananda stopped him. Maybe missing was Nityananda in this case, and he will stop him and say, don't slap him. He's just a fool or something like this.
Yeah, this is this different case because Jagai and Madhya were supposed to be demons at that point. But it was a friendly slap, so it was very friendly. It's when these devotees do something like this, on the inside they are not angry. That's mystic, they are. There's this example when Srila Prabhupada came to Vrindavan when they were supposed to open the temple, and there was like a huge mess, and everyone was running because Srila Prabhupada was shouting at everyone and so on. And then he went to his room, and then someone had to bring something to Srila Prabhupada, and he was shaking, I don't want to go to Srila Prabhupada now. And Srila Prabhupada was completely peaceful. He was completely, unaffected. But he was just, they are acting they are not inimical. It's not because they got upset. No, they know how to cut the cake, That's why these examples we shouldn't imitate, because we don't know how to cut, But they are like a surgical cut, very clean. So they know, okay, he will lose his head. So what, we'll get a goat head, no problem. That's good for him. You see sometimes devotees, they come to Krishna consciousness and they are serious for some times, and Maya, and then they go away. And as soon as they go away, instant reaction. I know devotees like this. I'm not gonna say, instant reaction, heavy reaction. And then, because that's what's needed to come to their senses. And after this heavy reaction, they're coming, I was thinking maybe we should chant more Hare Krishna. Because people don't get it out otherwise. I'm sorry. So Krishna, directly or through his Maya, he will apply the needed pressure to wake up the devotees. So no problem. He's not non-violent. The purpose of Krishna is that we come back to Godhead. So if some, a bit of violence is needed, no problem. He doesn't have a problem with that. I don't know if that's satisfying. Anyway, Prabhu had a question. That's
Sorry, if sometimes how should we react if supposed to be senior devotee instructs you something against the Shastras? Or how should we react in that case?
yeah. There's one case. Someone told the spiritual master that this senior devotee instructs me to do this, and he's saying this, and the spiritual master said, "This is not a senior devotee. This is older devotee." I mean, that's a bit direct and tough, you know. Like, what's that? You know, like. So this, I mean, there's some ways, there's some Vaishnava etiquette how to judge seniority, which is by how much time he spent in Krishna consciousness, which is, I mean, should mean something, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't so much. So first, so if you said that this is not so shastric, this means that you already read some shastras. So that's already good. You have done the first step. You're on track. So this means if you know that it's not shastric, then it's already good point. It's always good to be humble enough to also inquire for someone who is shastric, to say, you know, this devotee was telling me this, and it doesn't seem to be shastric, so is it, or how to understand this? You know, it's always it's good to inquire in a mood of humility that maybe I don't know. You know, for me it seems like this, but I don't know. And so you should always confirm that it's not shastric, because sometimes, you know, like, is it shastric? Ananta Prabhu will come and tell you tomorrow at 1 o'clock you should come to kitchen. And you will not go to Ananta Prabhu. Ananta Prabhu, you have to show me, you know, where in the Shastra is saying this, because Lord Chaitanya. So there's some discussion, you know, is it, so you have to confirm. If you think it's non-shastric, not shastric, you have to confirm, maybe, you know. So you confirm with other senior devotees, and then also you, if it's really non-shastric, then you have to find a nice way not to do it, you know. A nice way, you know, like we're in the community of devotees, we're showing respect to everyone, and not, you don't go like, you're a rascal, this is non-shastra, you know, like you're, you know, look at Gita bashers. So, yeah, you find a nice way not to do it, or, you know, and usually you nod and you do your own thing. You're like, yes, yes. That's how you deal with parents usually, you know, like they tell you things and you're like, yes, yes, especially if they are non-devotees. You're like, yes, yes, and then you do your own thing. You know, yes, mom, yes, sure. Anyway, so you have to find a way to, like, respectfully not follow these instructions. And yeah, that's Madhya Madhikari platform. Madhya Madhikari platform means that you understand who is who, what is what instructions you should follow, and what instructions you should not follow. And as you said, that's you have to see the instructions of Guru and Sadhu are non-different from Shastra, and should be non-different from Shastra. So anyway, not sure if that's okay. So some further controversies. I don't know. It's 9 o'clock, so maybe we keep it for next time. A bit of controversy is good. Where does this? Where is this says in the Shastra? We're singing every morning that the spiritual master is happy, so we should make the spiritual masters happy by taking some prasadam. All right. Thank you so much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.